computer. Well, hello, everyone. Jillian Stein here, joined today with the lovely Dylan Allen, writing as Lucy Wilson-Tagoe. And we are here to talk about, hopefully a book that everyone has seen everywhere. To Catch a Sinner. It is gorgeous.
And look who's there. Look who's there. Our guy watching.
Our
favorite. Yeah.
So it's been about what, 2 weeks since this book came out? A week?
Oh.
Is it a week? Two? What is it?
Yes, it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
Today.
And it's been an amazing 2 weeks. You've been in so many amazing bookstores, and you've been on Good Morning Washington.
It was surreal.
I am so happy because, again, I know that I've been seeing this book everywhere, but that's just because my algorithm knows what to show me. And I do, not to mention, we'll dive into the book and a couple of the themes in this book. But the amount of love that this cover has gotten,
yes. It deserves it. It is so gorgeous.
It is stunning. And I will say, a lot of people don't realize, some authors and publishers, you don't have a lot of creative license when you get your covers, but you, bam, did a lot. There's a lot with this. There's a lot of you in this cover.
Well, yeah, but all the best ideas were yours. And I've been telling everybody that you are the reason. Like you thought of the guy on the balcony watching her. You thought of her looking at the art. I don't remember, but those were your ideas.
Well, but yes, but you've got actually meaningful things.
Well, yeah. I got the stool, which is the object of the crime, the thing that's stolen in the story, and then the museum, the National Museum of African American History and Culture, which sits in the shadow of the National Monument, and is actually really such a gorgeous addition to the DC skyline. No, the book has the cover has, it's not just beautiful, it also is, it captures very special parts of the story, but that are only really meaningful once you've read it. So
well, to start out, the tagline of the story, and it starts out, and I'm going to rate it because I love it. Who gets to tell the story, the sinner who lived it or the saint who stole it?
Yeah.
First of all, brilliant.
Well, it only took me 18 months.
But so was that something that you came up with before you started writing the book, or was that after you were done and the story unfolded as you told it, and then that was like the moment of like, this is what this is?
I wasn't able to like find the words for it until I was done. But that is the theme of this. It's the theme of the story in every layer of it, and not just, the sort of on its face, who gets to tell a story that, that she's a journalist and going after a story. It's also about who gets to own art and share it, who gets to say that it's art, who gets to be in the history books, like who gets to tell a story, and whose story is it to tell, and so about so many things. So it took me a while to encapsulate it, but I always knew that this was going to be a story where righteous things collide, like, love and loyalty. Like they were going to, what do you do when you have two very righteous causes, ambition and justice, and they are in conflict with each other? And that was, that was from the very beginning. I knew were going to be the conflicts. I just didn't anticipate how much fun it would be.
I was going to say, I love how much your face is lighting up talking about this story and this book. It brings me such joy to see like you talking about the world that you've created and the characters that you've created. It's pretty incredible. And even just seeing the social media posts, people are loving.
Yeah.
They're loving this story. They're loving Sin. They're loving everything about it. And they're so excited for book 2. But now my question is, I have a couple of questions. When did you have the idea for this story, and how long did it percolate before you were like, this is the next book that I want to write? Because you do write under Dylan Allen, and you are a USA Today bestselling and Wall Street Journal bestselling author in your own right on that side of things, which is more
Thank you for saying
just
that. Yeah.
contempt.
Yeah.
But this has that underlying layer of suspense and mystery. When did you kind of know that you wanted to make, because it's a little bit of a jump.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I started thinking about this story when, gosh, it's been at least a year or two before I started writing it. But I got the idea from finding out. This is so random. Finding out that Jacqueline Kennedy's former childhood home was owned by the government of Saudi Arabia, and I was really interested in the cultural shift of that area. So I started doing research into the the Potomac riverfront, and then found out that it was like it's the old. It literally is really it's like the oldest thing on this continent, the Potomac River, at
Oh
least in this part. I mean, this is like it. The some of its bedrock is our primordial bedrock, like old.
my
And
gosh.
I just thought, what has this river seen? And what does it still see? And what secrets does it keep? And it became my muse. And that was really the mystery. I knew that I wanted to write, I thought I was going to write a sort of two people who make a terrible choice and have to live with the consequences of it and how it affects them being in love. Because of course it was going to be a romance because I love romance, right?
Yes.
But and for me, I don't know that there's anything more with like more of that has more of an interventionist power. Is
Mm-mm.
that right? Than love.
Yeah.
Like nothing can make you change your whole world, make you like change, the atmosphere of your world, like than love, right? And love, and it's such a powerful. So I knew that that was going to be the thing that helped them figure out which direction they would move. And so I don't know. It just started with, but it started. It was very dramatic. It started with lots of political intrigue. I interviewed this lady who would run for Senate, and I was really going to make Kwame a politician, like a heart
Oh,
was someone who wanted to be a politician. And then I started writing it. And also he was going to be this sort of Jay Gatsby like owner of this mansion that used to be as a piece of Americana that he's bought and is like as a make a statement. And I just was like, I was started writing it and it was so crazy. I wish I will show you. I'll have to send you the first chapters. It starts off like at a birthday party, Kwame and Sin are already friends, and then her father doesn't show up, and it's and he's shot in the hospital. It was a very crazy, like gangster story. I know. And I was like, I don't, first of all, and then I wrote that whole scene. I was like, I don't even care what happens, like why they're doing this. I need a reason to care. I need these people to they need to have a reason to care. I need to know their story. And once I started thinking about them, then it really just, it, it just flowed. I don't know how to describe where it came from, but it started with the house and then the river and knowing there was going to be a mystery there. And I don't know if you remember the first time we talked about it, I thought that the thing Sin was going to be investigating was like green card fraud. Do you remember? I told you the
yes.
story. Yep.
Yes.
And then I decided that no, I'm not going to write a story of immigrants committing fraud because it's such a small
Yeah.
percentage of, and that's not a narrative I want to contribute to. And also, it's not fun. And I
No.
really wanted something fun. And I also wanted something timely, something that was actually real, that had it was a conversation I wanted to have, which is something I always do in my books. When I talk about something I want to talk about, I make my characters care about it. And that was the repatriation of stolen, plundered antiquities. And
Yep.
once I realized that that was going to be the thing Sin wanted to correct, it was so exciting because, I don't know if you saw Black Panther, but you remember there was a scene with Killmonger in the museum. So it's already sort of part of the public consciousness, right?
Mhm.
But then the Louvre was robbed, and
Yes.
and all of the people that were online crying about their art, their diamonds being stolen from the Louvre. But I was like, but y'all stole them first. I don't understand where you thought what was going to happen. Like I don't know what you thought. Once you make something that's not a commodity, when you create a commodity out of something that is priceless,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's only going to be stolen. So and I also want people to I love museums. I think they're very important, but I think I want us to, because we all contribute to the ability for museums to keep these stolen things by not interrogating what we're looking at, and not even thinking about it, because it's just beautiful. But it wasn't designed to be beautiful. It's someone's heritage. It is a missing piece of
Yeah.
someone's entire you know, sort of everything that makes them who they are, and they've never been able to even see it. They only heard stories about it if those stories have remained or carried down, because it's in a museum across
Yeah.
the ocean being looked at by people who don't even care if it got
Listen,
stolen.
we were just in London, and so
Yeah,
I'm sure all the things, all the museums, and we were like,
some of it,
well,
no, yes, some of it. And this is the thing, this is what's so nefarious, Jillian, is that so much of it is not even on display. So
I
much of it
know.
is
So you know,
nothing.
exactly.
It's not even it's not they don't even have it to display it. It's this
Yeah.
just really gross degradation of a thing into something that you just having it makes you feel, like
Yeah.
people's bones and
Yeah.
family Bibles and family heirlooms, jewelry, things that actually belong to someone who has never been able to forget losing them,
I know.
and
Yeah.
they're in a, so that was for me. I mean, you see, I'm very passionate about it. So I just wanted it, and there is no happy ending. There is no happy ending. It's a very well funded like law enforcement apparatus globally.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
but it's such a and low hanging fruit. The
Yeah.
people who perpetuate it all have, all they just go buy themselves a senator or whatever and never face any consequences. So I wanted to give the art a happy ending as well, in this
I know,
as well
which
as my
is it
character.
is, but it is really another character in the book.
Yeah,
The art is another character in the book. Washington, D.C. is very much another character in the book. And I know you and I have talked about this, and I don't even know where we talked about it, but one of the fun things is people who read the books, and if they've been to Washington, D.C., or they live in the area, they're like, oh my gosh, I know exactly where she's talking
yes,
about. I know exactly where this place is, a restaurant or a park or the museum. I mean, it's
yeah.
so
It's been the
fun
best,
to
best.
connect, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's
what
been
a
so
fun way
great.
to connect. And as a reader, I know when I'm reading something and I know exactly what that is, it's such a nice way to not just like, oh, yeah, I know Lucy from social media or like, but no, I
Yeah.
connect with her on this level too, which
Yeah,
is
like we
really
both
fun.
know what this is. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when it's something that, is so particular,
Yeah.
and so yeah, no, that was so fun. I mean, I love DC. I love DC. I mean, I just love it. And I feel like this is such a it's an immigrant story, but it feels like such an American story.
Yeah.
Like, really, and only in America could these two people exist as they are.
Yeah.
They don't exist anywhere else. And I
It's,
just, you
it's,
know,
it's, I think it's easy for us to kind of take things for granted because it's like, oh, but it was so lovely, first of all, to read all of this and to know the important things that you put in this book. But then it was, the World Cup is
yeah,
here. And it was so fun to see people from all over the world to come here. And I think for a lot of people, it was just a nice reminder of, yeah, it's pretty amazing. That we can
yeah,
all be here doing the same thing, celebrating the
yeah.
same thing, enjoying new things, coming out and
Mhm.
doing all this fun stuff. And it was like just joy. People
Wasn't it?
going to DC, people going to Philadelphia, people
Yeah,
going and
I mean,
exploring, the
it's
history. It's,
so, yes, I
yeah.
agree. I agree. I mean, I was really heartened by how welcome most of the teams were made to
Yes.
feel by the people,
Yeah.
whatever our government was doing. And it was nice to because a lot of people watched this for some reason. I feel like the World Cup this year had more people watching than I'd ever
I
seen,
think so.
especially Black people. It was but I think it's because the soccer teams have just done a much better job of PR marketing than they
Yeah.
did like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so I mean, it was wonderful. I agree. I mean, I was like, this is imagine. I mean,
I
this is how
know.
we get down when our leaders don't get in the way. We just,
Well,
what I mean?
listen, all I know is that Ghana played in Philadelphia, and I
I
was like,
know.
I was
Oh my
totally
God,
rooting
I
for
know.
Ghana that day. I was like,
My cousin is their marketing manager of the team, and so when they first came to DC, and I was able to take my kids down to go meet
oh
the
my
team.
gosh.
My son and his best friend are both like soccer. I mean, I've never seen them smile the way they smile. I mean, it was so, but my cousin, yeah, he had he got people tickets to games. I wasn't able to go, but really it was so wonderful. And he came here last year and did all of this advanced work, like worked with the Chamber of Commerce's and all the places so that and found all of the like the African business owners, like, so that when they
Wow.
came, they had so many things to do. The players were doing exhibitions at American University. They were visiting, it was wonderful. And they loved America. Everyone loves America as it is. Like when you
Yeah.
can just come and I mean, there's nowhere else like
No.
it.
Yeah. But that's so all that to circle back.
It's wonderful.
Why? I mean, fill everybody in who doesn't already know that you are a family of immigrants and you are
Yeah.
here.
Oh yeah, yes.
Because
Yeah, I'm
that was my fault. I should have said that at the very beginning. But I already assumed that everyone knows. But I would
yeah,
love for
no, I
you
mean
to
they should
share.
because it's such a strong and important part of my identity that it's sort
Yes.
of where I lead with it. My parents immigrated to America when I was 6, and so and but by themselves. So it was weird. I grew up sort of at home. It was very like being in a Ghanaian home, and then outside we were in all mostly white spaces, very American. And I mean, I remember recording myself to get rid of my accent. Like I would make, over and over again to help myself. Because assimilation, I realized very quickly that being a foreigner was not like the best thing. I remember people just being so confused why people were shocked every time I knew what anything was. Like if I knew what Coca-Cola was or I knew what Rice Krispies were. And I was like, I didn't know that everyone thought we were just like poor eating dirt in Africa. I didn't know that.
Oh,
So I didn't know that. I mean, that's the impression. I think most people, that's the only images most people had ever seen of Africa, right? So, and it's crazy because, but those were commercials that were cast. And I had a friend who used to act in those commercials when she was a kid. Those feed the children,
yeah.
and then they told her she got too fat, she was too chubby, and they wouldn't. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of it was just propaganda. So I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
So so for me, I want writing this story. I wanted to write a story and really show people straddling the identities I did, but in a in a in a in a much more supportive framework than I had. So again, another happy ending for another little piece. And Kwame and Sin are the same. They have both their parents are Ghanaian. They're both first generation Americans, but they have such different relationships to those identities.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show that as well. That even exactly the same from the same place, the same sort of circumstances, the way you feel about yourself, the way you see yourself,
Mm.
can be very different, and that we should allow people to identify themselves because I mean I'm always fighting for my life. When I say I'm from Ghana, no one believes me, especially other Ghanaians, and so it was very cathartic to write that for Kwame because he has that same problem. But that's a very, very real thing for me, and not just for me,
Yeah.
but for so many people. So that's I've gotten a lot of lovely messages about that from people who are
Oh,
reading
I
and
love
yeah,
that.
oh my Jillian, the messages I'm getting from first generation people, especially is like honestly, my friend Talia Hibbert read the book early on, and that was her thing. It was like I don't think I've ever seen this in romance like this. I've seen first generation stories, but not from a Black family. Like most of it is South Asian, East Asian. We see a lot of those, and this is yes, I know. That's why I really wanted to write it because I think it's important to say we were here and to show this lived experience because it is not just one thing. And if anyone's watching this, I want to recommend a TED Talk by an author named Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And she wrote a book called Americana, and she did a TED Talk called The Danger of a Single Story. And it is so fantastic. I think it's 15 years old now. It's not that long. Please listen to it. It really changed the way I thought about everything I consumed. And if whoever's out there listening, please watch it. It's so great. And I don't agree with everything she says, but I do think that she's one of the most sort of important thinkers of our time. And that in particular is so instructive about the way. So for me, it's always important to not have a single note, have my characters be as fully complex human beings as they can be. And it was a lot of work, but it's so worth it to have created Sin and Kwame. as they
And
are.
they're so multifaceted. Like you do that, they definitely jump off the page. They're not these two-sided, cookie cutter characters that it's like, oh, well, here's a romance hero and here's a romance heroine.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
so they go through it. I mean, it's just such a great story. But then I think one of the fun things, and I don't know if we've ever talked about it, was your choice from this book to be
Oh
Lucy
yeah.
Wilson-Tagoe.
Yeah.
That was kind of like an 11th hour.
Yes,
we
yes.
we were not, that was not
Yeah.
on the
Not
table,
how.
but
Yeah, I yeah.
you got to tell that because it just fits so well. Like,
Right. Oh,
yes,
no, I
it could
mean,
have been a Dylan Allen book, but that's not this
honestly, I
book.
have to say it was Nina when I
Yeah.
sent her Nina's my agent. I sent her the book and I sold it as Dylan Allen. And
Yes.
Lucy Wilson-Tagoe was already brewing, and but it was that was going to be my purely women's fiction. And then Nina read it, the book, and then when she was like, I feel like it's so different from Dylan Allen, and then she saw the cover, she was like, not, she was like, I just think we should ask and see if Lucy Wilson-Tagoe, this can be her debut. And honestly, as soon as she said it, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I asked you all, and you all said yes before I could even finish asking. And it was like, really, I felt like that's when we all really got on, because it just felt very exciting, didn't it, to do
The
this
minute, I mean,
particular.
the minute that this
Yeah, look at
cover
that.
mock-up came in our inbox, it
Yeah,
was like, that's what it has to be.
yeah.
It
I mean,
just
it's so good. And
fits.
and honestly, I have to just say that name, Wilson Tagle, is my grandmother's maiden name. And I never got to know her. I never met
Oh,
her. She died when my mother was 15. And so, but she has never not been in my life. I know her recipes. I know the songs she sang. I know what her hymns that she loved. I know everything about her. And she's such a remarkable woman. My mother was her 11th and last child.
you're gonna make me cry.
I know, me too. And for me, it is just the honor of my life to use her name this way, to keep her here forever, because Mary Wilson Tagle really should never have died.
Yeah,
She was
yeah,
so remarkable. All of her, I mean, I know, I think that I have lived a remarkable life,
yes,
but it's like, of course I did, because I'm her granddaughter. She was
yeah,
remarkable. All my cousins, my siblings, like my family is full of some of the most talented people, brilliant people on the planet Earth,
yeah.
and they're all her descendants. And so her name is never, I don't even know how to say how happy I am and also it is so culturally specific.
Yes,
Lucy Wilson Tagle feels like, and I've said this, it feels like a true name. It feels like my name for real. Like it is really who I am. And so I'm just so happy that I have. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you.
no,
Honestly, thank you
don't make me
from the
cry.
bottom of
I
my heart.
cannot.
But like, thank you for
Ooh,
giving me this opportunity, because I think that it's already been just sort of like life altering and so empowering to have this name, but to pay homage to my grandmother. I
listen,
just hope she knows
she
how much I
knows.
love her.
She knows. And now,
Mm.
thank you, Mary. She
Yeah,
knows.
Her name was Mary.
That's right.
Mary.
She knows.
Yeah, yeah,
But that makes it even more special. And that's probably
yeah.
why when Alan mocked this cover up and it came up into we were like, this is it. It just fit everything. It fit.
It's
It,
perfect.
it would not have been the same, I don't think.
No, no, not at all. And it would
Not
have
in a
been
bad
different.
way.
Not in a
Not in
bad
a
way.
bad way.
No, I mean, listen, Dick Allen is that girl. So we are not
Yeah.
talking about her, but it wasn't in the marketplace. Like, when you think about a book on a shelf and you look at this
Yes.
cover and you see Dylan
Yes.
Allen, if you don't know who I am, immediately you think of a man,
True.
right? It's a male's voice, a man's name.
True.
And a white man's name, probably in your head, the consumer's head, which is fine, but that's not, I don't, it just, it's, and I'm very aware, more than ever, that I'm leaving behind sort of, I have a legacy I'm
Yes.
creating an impression, and I just wanted it to have the right name. I wanted people to, but now Dylan and Lucy together are, I mean, I feel very complete. It feels very whole. I feel like,
It is
yeah,
two different sides of your personality, but they both
I
like
know.
they both have their little, their little moments like, you know what, who am I going to be Dylan today? Am I going to write a Dylan book that's uh, that has a different vibe to it in the
Yeah,
best way possible, but
yeah,
then or not. I mean, the Lucy vibe is also different, but like two
it
sides of the
is.
whole, but
It is.
amazing.
Yeah, I feel like Dylan they make different promises to the reader, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
and I, the one of the promises Dylan makes is that, you know, it's not, it may be a rough ride, but the conflicts are never about the love. This is the first time I've written a story, and it was so hard. It's really made my heart just squeeze, where it's not like external forces. It is these two people's choices that's like, I've never ever done that before. I think that's the Dylan and Lucy promise.
And I
It's
didn't realize that until
yeah,
you just said it.
it's always an external force in Dylan Allen books. It's like they love each other, they want to be together, but there's something outside
Yes.
of that really rips them apart. This is the first time that it's not something that and it was, oh, I was,
I did not, out of all the books of yours that I've read, it did not occur to me until you just said that.
yeah, no, it's
It's so
because
true.
that's the promise of Dylan Allen is like you are gonna be so soon away that, and you're never gonna see these two people hurt each other
Yeah.
intentionally. So yeah,
The
catch a
rules
dinner.
are broken over
It's
here.
but it's still romance. You should
It's
happily
still
ever
broke. Yeah,
after. But
don't.
the promise is different. The suspense is different. I mean, you know, no one dies by my hand in
Yeah.
Rivers Wild. But I'm gonna be killing some folks up here. You see, it's gonna be.
I mean, just saying.
Yeah,
I mean, we already know how this whole thing
867
ends,
out of
but we
yeah.
won't, we're
No,
not going
but
to.
I'm just saying. I mean, Lucy, this is just the beginning for Lucy.
Yes.
Is what I'm saying is that this is just the beginning.
So
So
this is a duet.
yeah.
So the second book will come out sooner rather than later.
Yes,
What
it's done. It is done. I'm just the edits. I just need to sit. I've actually taken time off in the next couple of weeks to just focus on because it's done. I got my beta notes and everything, and I just haven't had a chance to visit. But I'm really shooting for soon to send it ASAP.
what after this fabulous duet is over, what do you think? Do you think you're gonna go back into like a Dylan Allen world? Do you think
Well,
you're gonna
I've written a Dylan Allen book, another Rivers Wild book. I wrote it like 2 years ago. It's just been sitting on my computer, but I really want to publish it. And
yeah.
then and then I want to write Paloma a story.
Yes.
And I also want to write a women's fiction story. Like I have so many stories I want to write. I have so many stories. I have this crazy royal intrigue. I don't know royal of what, girl. I don't know. But 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 no, I do. I have so many stories. I mean, endless, endless.
Yeah.
And I just all I need is time. I am so inspired. It's wonderful to feel like this again. It's
I'm
wonderful.
so
So
glad because
yeah,
you kind of you were Dylan Allen for a little while and then you were kind of out of the book world for a little
yeah,
bit. So
yeah,
now you're back in it and
yeah.
it really seems like you're having a really good time with it. And that is amazing to see.
I am. But it's because I'm here very intentionally in the place I've decided I'm here exactly where I want to be because this is where I put myself. And last Dylan Allen I didn't start that way.
Yeah.
And I just this is so much better to really decide and do what feels right to me and not what I think might make sense to other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's great.
So it's been, what does a day look like in your writing? Like if are you anybody who's aspiring to write, what advice would you give them? And also what is a day in the life? I mean, I know kids are out of school, it's the summertime. So I'm sure it looks different in the summertime than it does when the kids are in school.
Jillian, I'm just a taxi in the summertime. I just ferry people back and forth. I'm about to leave to go pick up some. That's all I
I know,
do.
I won't keep you.
But typically, so advice I give, consistency really pays. I'm not saying write every day, but write regularly.
Yes.
Find a schedule and just stick to it. Make yourself. Um, because consistency is really the ingredient. There's no magic. There's no magic thing.
Yeah.
Because you never know what is, I mean, there's a little unknown in success of books, and so you just have to keep writing.
Yeah.
And I I would say that write the story that you are uniquely qualified to tell. I
Love that
understand when
advice.
well, that's for if you have a story to tell, write that story.
Yeah.
And I don't, I think for long, especially for longevity, however you start, and you'll get to a point if you do this long enough where you have to write what you want to write,
Yeah.
and if you're lucky enough, and I think a little bit of luck is involved as well, if you're lucky enough to get to that place, you should trust it and lean in and do it.
Yeah.
Lean into the story that scares you, write it.
Yeah.
It'll be the best thing, no matter what. And it will, and a book's launch is just the beginning of its life. You
Yes.
should not, you really, the best thing to do is just write the next book. That's so was that your question? Advice?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what kind of advice would you give if somebody's going to be a writer? I mean, I think that's perfect advice,
Finish,
and I
finish,
agree.
finish, and be consistent and ask for feedback
Yes.
and don't take it personally.
Well, I always love talking to you.
Me too.
And I know you have to go, but
Eventually, yes. Yes. Let's try
in the
again.
meantime, friends who are watching, this is out. To Catch a Sinner by Lucy Wilson-Tagoe, is out, and
It's
you should
out.
go read it because it's
Read it and get your whole life. You'll have a great time. It is so much fun. We didn't even talk about the sex. It's so sexy. Kate Wells, who writes amazing sex, called it God tier sex. I'm just waiting for her to see my review. So come on, y'all. Get on it. There's
it
something for everybody. There's something for everybody. Read the
exactly
reviews. I've
right.
seen a lot of people say that it has a lot of,
It
everything.
does.
That makes me so happy. So
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Well, thank you, Lucy,
Thank you,
and thank you for
Jillian.
everyone for watching, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye.